Yo, I think I'm live. Man, it has been a minute. Let me check and make sure my mic is good. Check my audio real quick. Okay. All right, everything looks good. So, today we're talking about delegating tasks. How do you delegate inside of your cleaning business? It's really one of the hardest things, or not necessarily so much, one of the hardest things, but it's definitely an obstacle that we have to get over mentally. It's a huge mental process, a huge mental step to be able to delegate inside of your cleaning business. I felt every single emotion as it pertains to delegating inside of your cleaning business, so I know how tough it can be, especially if you're just getting to the point where you have accounts, you have some staff, and or you have accounts and you're looking to get staff, and this is your first time. I know how tough it can be. I know how tough it can be mentally. So I got a quite a bit of information that I want to give. Just want to be able to give as much value as possible. And if you're getting value from it, I actually go ahead and hit the like button while you're in here. I'm definitely gonna I'm gonna give away a gift today, some gifts. So make sure that you know what I mean. You in attendance. And once again, if you do get value out of the video, I ask you go ahead, please hit the like button. Also, you can drop your questions in the chat. You know what I mean. I'll do my best to answer the questions as we go along to the best of my ability. But I wrote down a couple of different things. Let me go ahead and turn my phone on airplane mode. So that way I'm not being distracted. But I wrote down a couple of different things, that I had to get over, in my own business, things I had to get over when it came time for me to delegate. If you don't know, I still do have a commercial cleaning business. I'm still very active in the business as far as, I receive emails, phone calls. I still do walkthroughs from time to time. The whole nine. I still run the business. But these are some of the things that, that I came up with that I had to, some of the obstacles that I face in getting over being able to delegate within the business is definitely, is definitely an obstacle to go ahead and get over. Silver says what's going on, Silver? Oh, you bought the course. Hey, good job. You know what? You let me know. I've only had good reviews on the course. And you can get in contact with me anytime if you have any questions or comments or whatever. But I definitely appreciate you, Silver. But let's dive into this topic on delegating, how to delegate inside of your cleaning business. Again, I know this is really like one of the toughest obstacles to get over. I went through the whole process of delegating, being able to trust people, but I came up with 10 different things. And then I'm going to show you some diagrams and things like that on how you can delegate, on things that you should look for, places where you should be delegating first, so on and so forth. But at the top of the list, when it comes to being able to delegate, some of the fears that people have, business owners, especially for the first time, is control or quality control concerns, right? That's huge. That's a big concern. You bring people into your business, you put them in, and how good of a job are they going to do? What's the quality going to look like? This is definitely a concern, but this is something that can easily be, you could fix. You could fix any quality problems. I'm going to show you how to do all of it, right? Trust issues. Again, this is your baby. This is your business. This is something that you are, starting off, and then you're going to give it to an employee to make sure that they're going to go out and do the things that they're supposed to do. There could be some trust issues, and you're not wrong. Everyone is not trustworthy, but you need to have things set in place so that you are doing the hiring. You're hiring correctly. You're minimizing the chances. You're minimizing the risk of anything bad happening. Even with that said, like I've took my bumps and my bruises in the beginning when it came down to hiring. I've hired wrong people. I've hired bad people. It's just a part of the game. It is what it is. Yes, you're going to make bad hires. You're going to make bad decisions, but the point is to learn from them and not have them affect your business as much as they possibly could, as far as losing accounts and things of that nature. But I'm going to show you even ways on how we avoid losing accounts due to bad hires, right? Another thing, fear of losing control, right? Fear of losing control. This was a big one for me. I like to be in control of everything. And when things really started to change for me, first off, that's not a good thing. Like to always be in control, be in control. Make sure you make the right hire. So when you bring people in, uh, you they've shown you that they have the skills to be able to go out and do the job and trust your own process in hiring and training, all of those things. But that was a big one for me, just letting go and letting someone else go out and do it. It was a really big mental shift that I had to make. This was years ago, but this is still a problem. It's still relevant today, where people have these issues. They have these problems when it comes down to hiring and wanting to control every single thing. Right? My grandma used to say that if you hold on to something so tight, if you just hold on to it, you never can receive nothing else, right? Because your hand is closed. So you have to learn to let go so you can accept more and more, and just take more stuff off of your plate, right? Delegate that whole process when it comes to doing cleaning, or whether it's audits or whatever the case is. But we're going to definitely dive into that. But that was a huge one for me, right? Having the lack of qualified personnel. This was another one, but this still boils down to, hiring. Where's your hiring pool coming from? Guys, I did everything. Let me tell you, like, one of the first things that I did when I met one of my very, very first hires on my own. Okay. What I did, and I'm telling you this, I don't know, it may work for you, it may not, but this is what I did, and this is where I failed. My very first hire, I remember coming to work, and I was so tired. I was beat up. I've been working, days and days and days. It felt like haven't had a day off, and I don't know how long. But I was ready to bring someone in. I never hired anyone before. I didn't know what the process looked like. But I needed someone to come in, right? And I went to forget the place that I went through, but I went to go get some fast food. And the girl in the fast food place, like, she was really friendly. I'm like, okay, well, she got good customer service. I was like, hey, how do you like this job? And this was like a on the spot interview I gave this girl. How do you like this job? She's like, yeah, da 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 da. So long story less long, I offered her a job, right? This is my very, very first time hiring someone. I offered her a job in the middle of the drive-through. I'm like, hey, how soon can you start? She said, I can start tomorrow night. So I bring the girl in. I show her all the things that I do. Now, this is before I was really even familiar with, making sure that I had a solid set of standard operating procedures. Where I didn't trust. I knew that I wasn't going to give her keys. There was just so much stuff that I didn't know, but I needed help doing, these accounts. So I brought her in the next day. I showed her everything that needs to be done. And, I let her do her thing. And then I went off to go do other accounts. Remember, this is the very beginning. This is early on in my entrepreneur journey, right? I brought her in. She did her thing. I go off. And now, of course, when I come back to check on her and to lock up the building, there was things that were wrong, right? Completely fine. I expected for her not to be able to get everything right. So we made the corrections. And day 2 goes by, still things that need to get fixed. Day 3, day 4, and it seems like the problems that I was having with her in the beginning, it was only getting worse, right? But I'm thinking, hey, this girl, she works fast food, I'm going to pay her more money. Plus she's used to being up late at night because she works fast food, she works the fast food line. This should fit. The truth is, it didn't fit because she wasn't qualified. There were so many things, just common sense things, that she just wasn't getting. Like, for example, inside of the bathrooms or the restrooms, you have those ZFOs, those paper towels. Well, when you wash your hands, you go and you pull it from the bottom, and once you pull, the other one comes in. Well, she would put the Z folds in there, but she would never take the outside casing of the paper off. She wasn't qualified to do the job. There was so many different things. I was just like, okay, I have to go ahead and let her go. But that's a really quick story on how I brought someone in who just wasn't qualified. She didn't have the mental aptitude to be able to do the things that I now look for in my company, right? She just didn't have it. So that was my fault, but it was a learning lesson. And it let me know that just because the first person that I hired, just because she wasn't a good fit, I couldn't allow myself to get into the mindset to think everybody's going to be like this, or it's not worth it. I might as well quit, give up, go get a job, or do something else in general, right? So making sure that you just have a qualified person. Are they able to do the job? Are they able to follow instructions? Are they able to think on their feet? There are cases, there are instances where you'll go in and you'll put the alarm code in, except for the client didn't tell you, hey, we had an issue with a former employee. The alarm code is now changed. Oops, we didn't tell you. And now my staff is in here in the middle of the night and the alarm is going off. A trained person, right? Or they're going to know because in our SOPs on what you should do. But if you're not able to think on your feet, or you don't have the mental aptitude to know what to do next, or what should you do best, what's the best thing to do in this situation, it's only going to cause frustration on you and your company. And it's just going to be a bad situation all the way around. That type of situation doesn't happen all the time, but it's not uncommon. It's happened to us before. It's happened to us at least 3 or 4 times in the amount of time that we've been in business, where they changed the code and just didn't let us know. Honest mistake, things happen, but having qualified people in your business that's going to be a good representation of you, that's key. That's one of the things that is really, really hard in the beginning for some people to get over, myself included. Okay. So guys, once again, if you're just now getting in, we're talking about delegating tasks within the cleaning business. I'm going to break everything down, show you how I delegate things in my business. If you get value out of what we're talking about today, make sure you go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button. I very much do appreciate it. Check on with the chat. Giorgio's in the building. What's going on, Giorgio? Giorgio says he's going to go to AJ's boot camp, finally getting to meet. Okay, dope. That's what's up, man. Okay. All right, cool. So we got that out the way. All right. Now, the other thing, I wrote down a couple of different things on here that I want to address really quick. Now, when it comes down to our customers, one of my other big things was, am I going to be able to maintain the level of customer satisfaction if I bring someone into my business to start doing the work? The bottom line is this. You can definitely maintain the level of customer satisfaction, but it's so important to set up expectations from the beginning, right? It's so important to set up expectations. Here's what I mean. First off, when you hire someone into your business, know that you're hiring someone just for a job, right? They need a job. What I could tell you is they don't love your business. They're not going to care about your business as much as you care about it. They don't have an emotional attachment to your business. So just know that coming in, right? That this person that's coming in, they're coming in to do a job. Okay. Now, when it comes down to managing expectations, let your customer know too, especially in the beginning, especially if you have a good relationship. I'm talking about if this is like your, first through maybe your 10th customer that you have, they're used to seeing you. They're used to you being in the building. They're used to being able to call you on the phone or text message you or whatever the case is. And if they're not, they should be. They should be able to get in contact with you if something's going on, especially in the beginning. But letting them know, hey, my company's growing. We want to bring in some more cleaners. We're bringing in more staff. We're training. So if things are not what you're accustomed to as far as any of the cleaning stuff goes, then feel free to let me know. But just know that we are in training. It's so important to manage expectations. Now, the goal is for them to never, ever even have to message you about any changes, because when you bring that cleaner in, just like I said a minute ago, they don't love your business the way you do. They don't care about your business the way you do. This is a job. It's very, very transactional. It's so important to know that. So if you come in and you clean for your business and you clean at, a level of an A or an A plus or whatever level you clean at that has your customers satisfied, just know that it's not going to be uncommon for the cleaner that's coming in, the person that you're hiring. They might clean at like a B or a B minus. But the point is to get them in there, get them doing the work, and then you're going to have to double back to bring whatever work they did up to the standard of that the customer's used to. So that's really, really huge thing. So don't concern yourself so much with, oh man, the customer's not going to be satisfied with the work. That's a management problem. Once the cleaners come in and they're doing their jobs or they're doing the things that they're supposed to do, it's now up to you to be able to come in and fill in any of those blank spaces or any of those gray areas so that the customer never even knows that another cleaner was in here unless they see him, right? So that's another thing that was really, really big. And then being reluctant to invest in training. So this is how we did our training. all of our training was done hands-on. It was done, it was done by me and other people in my company. But the way the training looks is like this: document everything that you do. Everything that you do inside of your business, document it. I don't care whether you write it down. It's best to shoot video. I prefer video. And then use that as a guide to train your employees when they come in, right? Every single toilet is cleaned the same way. At least it should be. Every table, every operatory floor. If you're in a dental office, all this stuff is cleaned the same way. There really isn't any changes on how you clean a bathroom, whether it's from a school or whether it's from a dental office, a daycare. It's all going to be cleaned pretty much the same way. The way that you mop a floor is going to be cleaned the same way. The way that you vacuum, so on and so forth. So make sure that you document the process, because that is really what's going to be your blueprint for the training that you give the new people that are coming in. You want to be able to cut your work down as much as possible. If you don't have to spend 30 hours with a new person every time someone gets hired, training them, because you've already done 30 hours worth of video and you cut it down to 15, 20 minutes, whatever the case is, then do that. Invest the time in the video. Get someone to hold the camera, hold a tripod, whatever it is, and you go through the process on how to clean the bathroom, how to clean the kitchen, how we vacuum floors, how we disable alarms, and so on and so forth. You go through that. So you don't really have to spend a whole lot of money in investing in a training program on how to do certain things, unless it's like a specialty thing like strip and wax, or maybe it's a carpet clean or something along those lines. But if you're in a major city, you could go to places like John Don. John Don is a floor care place. I think they do other things, but they mainly do floor care. They'll show you how to do the strip and wax. They'll show you how to do the towel and grout. They'll show you how to do the carpet clean, all of those things. So you don't really have to invest a lot of money when it comes to the actual training, but you're all going to have to invest a little bit of time. And that's fine, because it's going to be so worth it later on down the line when you start to bring people in and you realize, like, wait a minute, I don't have to spend so much time training, or I don't have to have my manager or whoever, go out and train with these people as much as I used to, or as much as I thought that I would. So keep all of that in mind, right? And then personal attachments to the task. This goes back to what we were just talking about before, with fear of losing control. Having these personal attachments to these accounts, you can, and there is really no right or wrong answer. It depends on what you're in business for, what you're looking for, how you want your business to look 5-10 years down the line. If you're okay with making, whatever cap you have at it, and you have a personal attachment, you feel like you need to be the one that's going out and doing all of this stuff. You want to stay small. If you want to stay small, that's completely fine. I'm not here to change your mind or sell you on the idea of growing your company to the point where, checks are coming in the mailbox, or on the first of the month, all you really have to do is just go back, double check, make sure everyone, sent all their payments in. I'm not going to tell you how your business should look, but if you do want to grow your business to the point where, people are going out doing the work, you're just answering emails and making sure that the wheels and the cogs in the system are still moving and still greased and moving the way that they're supposed to, then, you're definitely going to want to not necessarily so much have such strong attachments to doing all of the work, or to, any account really, because at the end of the day, like, attrition happens. You're going to gain accounts, you're going to lose accounts. So you can't just have these personal attachments to these accounts. Have personal attachments to the process. Have personal attachments to the way your business is perceived overall. Have a personal attachment to the culture that you build within your company. If you have a culture of dedication, hard work, enthusiasm, attention to detail, those are things that, I would have attachments to. I'm not saying that, you have to have attachments to the same thing. I'm just want to make sure that you're managing your expectations moving forward. Where do you want your business to be, and how do you want it to look? And that really is going to dictate, the type of attachment that you have in your business, and what things you have attachments to in your business. All right. So all around cleaning, what's going on? All around cleaning? You're from San Antonio. I remember San Antonio. Guys, if you're getting value out of this video, if anything I said is giving you value, please make sure you go ahead and hit the like button for me one time. YouTube be tripping with the algorithm, so I definitely need all the likes that I can get. And then the other thing, the perceived cost savings by you just saying, hey, I'm going to do all the work. And when I say you, really, I'm talking about me too. This was me. I'm going to do the work because I don't want to pay anyone, because I want to save as much money as possible. Listen, time is money, right? And this is a game of multiplication. If I might be able to save, a couple $100 if I do just one little account, but if I put someone else in that account and I do the same things as far as marketing goes, that is going to get me more accounts. I can take the time that it would take for me to clean that account and spend that time doing the money making activities, right? And I can get a third or second or third or fourth account in that same amount of time, and then put someone in those accounts. And now I've made all of that money back. Plus I got my time. I got my time back. This is a game of being able to win back all of your time. This is what it is. If you can have your bills paid and you have your time, that is an amazing feeling. And that's really what, my driving factor is. I want to be able to make the kind of money that I want to make. And I want to be able to have my time to do what I want to do. Right. So don't think of, if I work in this account, if I'm doing this inside of this account, that it's going to save me money. Use that money and do the things that can get you more accounts. And then now you have your time to do whatever you want to do. So that was one of the things that really, really stood out to me. And then the other thing too, and this is the last point that I'm going to touch on this before we really start moving into the direction of showing you some of the things that I do to get the business or to delegate all the things within the business. But the last thing that I want to touch on is an overestimation of your own abilities or my own abilities. Listen, I've had cleaners. Now I'm talking about professional cleaners. I'm good at running the business. I'm not the best cleaner. I'm not. I can go in, I can do my thing. We can get accounts, I can keep accounts, so on and so forth. I have really, really professional cleaners who have been cleaning for, 15, 20 years with multiple different companies. In the beginning, I thought that my way is the best way. This is the way that we're doing it. It's my business. This is my way. This is it. This is what we're doing. But it was always an overestimation of what my own abilities were. I bring people in, and I promise you, there's been employees that have come in and have shown me better ways, faster ways, more efficient ways to do certain things. And it's completely changed the way that we, clean in our business when it comes to certain things. They can go ahead and give me an idea on some of the best practices that they've used within all of the time that they've been actually cleaning, inside of these accounts. And I can take that information and then just apply it to my business. So it's never like my way is the best way. I don't really want to hear any suggestions or anything like that from anybody else, because at the end of the day, a lot of my cleaners have been cleaning for a long time, and they do have great suggestions on ways to make things easier. Plus, they're the ones that's doing the cleaning. If we can have the same result as far as quality goes and do it a lot faster and a lot more efficient, and it's one of their suggestions, then one, they're going to feel like they're valued. Two, they're not going to get burnt out because things are more efficient and it's moving more in an efficient manner. So always take that into consideration. Like, don't think just because this is the way that, we do things, or I do things, or whoever, this is how that this is the only way or this is the best way. Always be open for new information, to be able to take that in and try it. If it doesn't work, then it doesn't work, but at least you tried something different, because this is all a journey on perfecting your business, perfecting your just along this path of entrepreneurship. You're just trying to get better and better and more efficient at what it is that you're doing, right? So let me show you something here real quick. And guys, once again, if you're getting value, please go ahead and hit the like button for me. Definitely do appreciate you. Let me see something real quick. So, all right. So this right here, I don't know how big that is. So this right here is ideally, right? This is an ideal version of what a business or organization or whatever, right? This is an ideal version of what it would look like, okay? Let me know if you can see this. Is this too small? I don't really even know how to make it bigger if it is. So we're just going to rock with it like this. But this is you up top. This is your operations manager. Parallel with right underneath the operations manager, you would have like a head inspector, a sales lead, and a field manager. Okay. So you're going to be playing all of these roles at one point or another. You're going to be playing all of these roles. That's well, really in the beginning. This is this is all of you. But as you start to grow your business, you're going to start to bring in your workers. Okay. You're going to bring in your janitors, right? So you're the field manager at this point. You're the sales lead. You're the head inspector. You're all of these different things. So just keep this in mind. So let me see. All right, let's see here. Give me 1 second. Let me see if I can bring up another screen. So all of those things are, that's what you're going to be. You're going to be all of those different things. Okay. So let's see here. Bring up my whiteboard. All right. So this is you. Okay. And then you're going to have one account, two accounts, got three accounts. Oh, you got 4 or 5 accounts. Okay. You're working all of these accounts and you're wearing every single hat that you could possibly wear. You're the cleaner, you're the salesperson, you're the inspector, you're the manager, you send off all the invoices, you do all of the things that it comes down to running a business. Okay. But by the time you start to get here, okay, you're already burnt out from these 5 accounts. You're already burnt out. And let's say these accounts, I don't care, it makes, I don't know, let's say it makes you $6K a month, right? And you're doing all of the work and you're burnt out. Well, this is where most people get really frustrated. And this is where most people get stuck. And this is also where most people start to give up because they're doing everything. Understand, and this is why I say to always, this is the reason really why I showed you the other diagram, the other picture, to show like what ideally, and this is just a quick example. Yours can look however you want, but it's important to have a view of what you want your company to look like, at least a rough draft, an idea of what you want it to look like. Because once you get to 1, 2, 3 accounts, maybe 4 accounts, you should already have in your mind that I know that I'm going to hire someone soon. This is where you should already be documenting your process on how you do everything, documenting on how you clean the bathrooms, mop, vacuum, all of the things, right? Because eventually you're going to go ahead and hire someone. By the time you get to this 4th, 5th account, we need to already had been putting ads out there, looking for people to bring in. You don't have to hire anyone yet. We always accepting applications. We're always doing interviews. You should be doing interviews so that once you get to the point where you're physically like, you know what, I'm burnt out. I don't really want to keep doing this. Once you get to that point, you have enough people that you can say, hey, I have a position for you. It's not a full-time position, but it could be a full-time position based on performance. This is just going to give you some time to stall. And we don't pay anyone else. We don't. No one else in our company is going to work 40 hours. Not any of the janitors. We're not doing that anymore. But you can let them know for whatever you can bring someone in at 30 hours. Whatever it is that works for you. Just give you an example. But by the time you get down here, you already have a pool of people you can bring in. Say, hey, we only have 15 hours right now, but we have some more things on the back burner that we're going to be bringing in, and based on performance. We'll get you some more hours if everything is going good. Now, here's the thing. If you don't bring anyone else in and you just say, hey, I'm just going to work. I want to make my first 6 figures. I want to do it by myself. There are people out there who can do it. There are people who do it, but that ain't for me. I don't want to do that. Because if you're the type of person where you got family, you got kids, you got, husband, a wife, you got vacation, you got so many different things that you got a life you live in. You can't take on these other these other responsibilities, because what's going to happen is, especially if you already burnt out here, what's going to happen once you get here, this account, it goes bye, because it's now being neglected. All your energy is you're too spread out. Too much stuff is going on. Then this account is going to get neglected. So it's like you're running on a hamster wheel, right? You can't ever catch up. So it's important. It's so important to know that when you first start your accounts, you first start your business, what direction do you want to go in? It doesn't matter that you don't know how to get there. You'll know how to get there. Just give it time. But it's important to have a field map, something to show like, okay, this is where I want my business to be. This is kind of how I want it to look. Let me reverse engineer. Let me get a coaching call or a consultation or whatever the case is. Let me reverse engineer how someone else did what they did. And then I'll be able to start moving forward or moving in that direction to get me to where I want to be. Now, this is the other problem. Once this person is hired, okay, we got a new person here. All right. Once this person is hired, we're like, whew, man, I'm good. I got an employee in there. They're working. A week's gone by, 2 weeks gone by. I haven't heard any complaints. I even double check with, my point of contact, or the operations manager, the owner, whatever buildings that person is working in. I haven't heard anything. I sent out emails. They said everything's fine. So we're good. But this is what happens. This person now realizes, like, oh, no one's coming to check. Oh, I can start to shortchange it a little bit. Or I could, not really give it my all. Or I could really just be stuck not knowing what I'm doing, and I'm just going to do the best that I can because I don't really have the best training. And, this ain't my business. It's a job anyway. So we're just going to ride it out, see what happens, right? Whatever happens, happens. That is a reality that can happen, right? So look at it like this. I taught both of my kids, sports, how to ride bikes, tie shoes. Like I'm active with them in their lives all the way to still, right? But I look at it like when I taught my son how to ride his bike, I didn't just tell him like, hey son, keep your hands on the handlebars, make sure you pedal at all times, and just do that, steer, don't hit no rocks, no dogs, don't, if you fall down, get back up, right? I could have told him that, but no one's really going to learn how to ride a bike that way. So I have to nurture him into learning how to ride a bike. Tell them all of the same things, but I'm there with him. I'm guiding him. When he thinks that he's really doing it on his own, he doesn't know that I'm behind him, following up, holding the back seat, making sure that he doesn't fall over. When he starts going a little too fast, or he starts to feel like he got it, maybe I might let that seat go a little bit, but I'm still trailing behind him because I know that it's unfamiliar territory with him. He's going to be wobbling and shaking, but before he falls and hits the ground, I'm going to be there to catch him, or to at least, help the impact not be as bad as it could have been, right? It's the same thing with these accounts. When you bring people in, this is your baby. This is your child. This business is your child. It's your baby. So you don't just want to let anyone just go in and run free. It's more of a dimmer switch. And the sad part is, and I don't want to say sad, but this is something no one ever talks about. You're still going to be out late nights. You're still going to be out working, because at this point, with this example that I'm showing you right here, you still have your own accounts to worry about. You still have to make sure that your level of customer service is on point. You still have to make sure that the quality for your accounts is on point. You still have to worry about all of those things, but also making sure that the person that you just brought in, that they're trained up, that they're doing the things that they're supposed to do. Because the worst case scenario, the worst thing, you don't want to keep on losing accounts. You're learning how to get accounts here, but you're losing accounts here because we don't have a good follow-up system. We don't have a good system in place to make sure that, the workers are inside. They're doing all of the things that they're supposed to do. And this is where a lot of people get caught up. This is what makes things harder than it actually needs to be. Not having that good system, not managing expectations. And then once we bring people in, not having a quality or not having a big enough pool to pull from in case this worker just doesn't work out. It's hard to find a good quality worker. You're going to go through bad workers. You're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. But the key is, like, always be accepting applications, always be interviewing, right? We interview once a week. On Fridays is when we run, our interviews, and we make sure that we have enough people in, and we turn some good people, some people who I look at them like, you know what, that person would be a good worker. I think this person would be a good worker, but I like this other person a little bit better. If the person that we like just don't work out, guess what? We have another group of people that we can pull from. So this is what, has really been able to separate us from the way that, we used to do things, but then also too, from a lot of the competition, making sure that you have a lot of people to pull from. One of the things that I definitely want to do, let me go ahead and do this right now before I forget. This Friday, and I'm taking this down. I'm actually going to take this down probably tomorrow, but this Friday, I'm going to do another $50 Friday, right? I'm going to do another $50 Friday this Friday. This is going to be just drop the link in the description or in the chat after the video. I'll put it in the description as well. But this Friday, I'm going to do another $50 Friday, 30-minute consultation. That's what I think that's less than half off than what it normally is. But I just want to be able to provide you with value. I want you to be able to walk away empowered, knowing that, whatever it is that we talked about, that you have the tools, the information, so that you can push your business in the direction that it want to be, or that you want it to be in. But guys, I feel like I've been talking a lot. Do we got any questions? Any questions for me? Any questions on any of the stuff that we talked about? I know that, it was a lot of information, but, it's one of those things that I do see a lot of people struggling with. Being able to delegate, being able to, task out whatever thing it is. Usually it's the labor. We want the labor to go first. Let me know if you have any questions in regards to that. Once again, I did just drop the link to the $50 Friday. That is going to be available this Friday, but I'm going to disable that link after tomorrow. So that way, you need to be live to be able to do that. So let me know if you got any questions about that. Any thing about the $50 Friday. Shout out to everybody here who got who got the executive course. Shout out to everybody in the inner circle. I definitely appreciate all of you. But let me know, guys, you guys got any questions for me? Silver says, okay, appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad that I was able to be helpful, right? Was there anything, Silver, that I wasn't clear on when it comes down to delegation and bringing people in? And this works the same way regardless of the position that you're bringing in. It works the same way for the janitor. It works the same way for the field manager. It's going to work the same way for your inspectors, your sales leads, all of it. It's all going to work the same. Like a lot of the things that that we do, as far as when it comes down to bringing in people more closer on the management level, like I'm always shadowing. I'm always, especially in the beginning, they'll shadow me, then I'll shadow them. But I'm looking for reports. I need consistent reports because I want to make sure that everyone is out doing the stuff that they're supposed to do. Everyone is doing their jobs because this is my business. My word is on the line when it comes to these customers, because I can't go to them and say, well, someone else didn't do what they're supposed to. No, they don't care about that. They care about the agreement that we made and the relationship that I'm trying to build with them. And, I had to unfortunately walk away from a lot of customers, or was dismissed from customers because there were things in my business that weren't up to par. People weren't doing the same, or people weren't doing the things that they were supposed to do. Now, I know that we talk about subcontractors. How does this work for subcontractors? This looks really micromanaging, which it is when it comes to the employee side of things. It looks really, really micromanaging, and it is, and it's like that for a reason. Okay, but when it comes down to using our subcontractors, there isn't much difference. Right? There isn't a whole lot of difference. And there are some things I'm going to tell you right now. There are some things that we are definitely getting ready to change when it comes down to our subcontractors. But we require them to submit proof of a lot of different things, right? Especially moving forward, everything is changing. With our older subcontractors, they're kind of grandfathered into the way that we do things, but you can hey, when you guys get done, we're not asking you to clock in and clock out. We're not telling you that you have to be here at a certain time, but I need to see a picture of this. I need to see a picture of that. Just making sure that they are out doing the things that they're supposed to do. And guess what? Our inspectors, they still go out and inspect even our subcontractor accounts, because at the end of the day, still in our book of business, all of those accounts are still ours. They don't belong to the subcontractors. They belong to us. And my investment is with, with the client, and it's not really with the subcontractors. That's just what it is. So we definitely make sure that we go out and we do all of our inspections when it comes to even our subcontractors. They say, like you said, we need to jump in and delegate tasks, but keep the quality control in place. Man, that is so, so important. We definitely have to be able to delegate and keep the quality of control. Like, the best compliment that I've ever gotten from one of my customers is when we bring someone in, they don't know that we brought someone in, and then I'll come back and I'll see them in 5 or 6 months. Like, hey, you guys have been doing, or you've been doing a really good job, especially in the beginning. You've been doing a really good job. Like, we haven't had any problems. We haven't had this or haven't had that. Like, that's really one of the best compliments. It's not them saying, Marcus, you've been doing a good job. It's us bringing people in and they don't even know that we brought anyone in. It's us, because that lets us know that our training, all of that stuff is on point, and it just makes for a better business relationship all across the board, because I got so many different things that I got to do, and they do too. They don't have time to be emailing us talking about, the different complaints and things that they're having and so on and so forth. But guys, that is it for this video. If you're going to get that $50 Friday, please make sure you do so within 24 hours, because I'm getting rid of that link. It will not be available later on. But once again, I appreciate all of you for being here. If you got value out of the video, make sure you go ahead and hit the like button. With all that I said, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.